Hey, hola, my friends. I hope all is fine and well with you and yours. Well, it's another gorgeous day here in the southwestern United States. If you're gardening out here, I hope you're doing so safe. Even though it's cooler in the temperatures, we still want you to stay hydrated. Well, as many of you may be aware, we have different types of sustainable gardening projects going on. We have our aquaponics, we have our constant flow hydroponics, and we also have a system called flood and drain. Now, the one thing I don't want you guys to get concerned about is thinking that you have to do all of this on your own. Pardon me, not on your own, but you have to do all of this at once, because you don't. And let me correct myself. You also don't have to do all of it alone, because you got me. You guys ready? Let's check this out. Now, specifically with our aquaponics gardens, we use a constant flow system, which you could also apply an ebb and flow or a flood and drain technique. It's the same thing, ebb and flow, flood and drain, to this as well. You've got to remember, well, not remember, but keep in mind, you have a few major components to an aquaponics or a hydroponic system. Basically, you have your reservoir, which would be this right here, where the fish are. And you have your grow beds. Now, you have a number of ways that you can have this water flowing through that, but we'll get through that later on. But these are just some fundamental things that you need, and how you can think them up, and how you want to define them, or how you want to invent them or imagine them. Here's the thing. It's all up to you. Just make sure that your fish are safe. Make sure that there's enough room for your plants to grow. Now, here's our flood and drain, or our ebb and flow hydroponic system. All of our ports, all of our fabric pots are set up. We have 9 of them. I've showed you guys this before, but I'd like to get a little bit more into detail about it. But just like that aquaponic system, we have our reservoir, which is our 27-gallon Craftsman IBC tote. Well, not IBC tote, but just shop tote, I guess you'd call it. And this holds our water. I'll explain to you in a minute why we keep it buried in the ground. And you'll also see that we have one line that runs water up to the grow bed, and we have one water that lets the water go back down. So this is our ebb, which means water goes away, and this is our flow, which means water comes in. Now, right here, we're going to take a closer look at our reservoir. And you see we have a few lines running out of here. We have an air line. We have our electric cord from our pump. We have our flow line, we have our ebb line, and we have this white wire right here, our thermometer. And right now, the water in there is 57.3 degrees. I'm not really complaining about it because I'm not doing anything to actively keep it warm. Now, a huge proponent of using an ebb and flow or flood and drain system is your timer. The idea is that you don't need water or nutrient solution constantly in the white tray, which you don't. We use our substrate to hold that. And this not only holds our plants up, but it also carries the nutrient solution, the nutrients and the elements that are in the nutrient solution. It holds it so that the plants can feed from it, and it keeps the roots wet while there's no water in the tank. Now, we have our ebb and flow set up so that it goes off 10 minutes, 8 times a day. Yeah, 10 minutes, 8 times a day. And that's only because we are in a desert, and even though it is near winter here, it is still dry, so it does not take a lot for these plant roots or for this substrate to dry up. So we kind of like to keep it moist around the clock. Now, we've lifted the top to the reservoir so you can see inside. And this is where our nutrient solution would be. As you can see, the tank is almost full to the top because there's no nutrient solution in the grow bed above, which is pretty awesome. If you take a look in the corner, that would be our UV light. I have that on specifically so that I can show you this is the method that we use to clean our tank, to eliminate any algae, anything else of that nature. The coolest thing about this, I gotta tell you, is you don't have to run it all day. If you have an algae bloom in your system, all you have to do is run it until that algae bloom is gone, maybe 24, 48 hours. Then you almost only have to run it 2 or 3 hours, maybe 3 or 5 days out of the week. So it's really cost efficient. I believe this one is a 9 watt or an 8 watt down there. And so, yeah, that's an 8 watt down there. That white cord that you see right there, that is the monitor, pardon me, not the monitor. That's the sensor for our temperature readout. And there's our little pump down there. That is a 20 watt pump connected to that hose, and that hose that you see to the left, that is our flood line. This short hose that you see right there, that is our that is our sorry. Yes, this is our flow line, this is our ebb line. So water goes into the reservoir, water comes out of the reservoir. For the record, guys, I want to tell you, I could edit a lot of my bleepers and bloopers out. The reason I don't, because I've been told by so many of you folks that you love the energy just that comes from me. And I'm telling you, the only way that this could happen, it's not accidental. It's not intentional. It's just natural. Let's continue. Now, in our grow beds itself, you may see that we have a couple of different sizes of pots. This is a 5-gallon right here because we have Brussels sprouts growing on those, and this is a 5-gallon here, and this is a 5-gallon here. These are all 2 gallons because this is lettuce. Oh, actually, this is my favorite tray. I'm gonna tell you guys about this in a minute. But we have our 3 gallons right here. Pardon me, our 2 gallons. 1, 2, 3, and our 3 gallons with our cabbage in it. 1, 2, 3. Now, I wanted to take a sec because I find that this is, other than using a bucket or using cracking method, if you wanted a larger scale sort of hydroponics, this is not only fun, but it's also incredibly affordable. I wanted to go over some prices with you guys in a second. Now back to this little pot right here. This is my I think I can pot. Because if you go back actually go back one video, you'll see how we trimmed the main basil plant down from the Aquaponics rig. But I took a couple of cuttings from the elbow. There's one right there, and there's one right there. And all I did is set up a fabric pot, hydroton balls in there. And I also set up on some lettuce that I got from my great friend KP. Man, blessings to you, KP and the whole crew over there at the Las Vistas Coalition. I love it. You guys are awesome. But all I did is set these in here to see if I could propagate them from cuttings. And I did. And I also did it with an arugula right there and another arugula right there. Later on, maybe a few videos down, I'll talk to you guys about how you can utilize cuttings from some of these plants so that, in essence, you can just keep them going and going and going and going and going. Let's keep going. Now let's talk about prices for a second. And I try to keep this as affordable as possible. So with this white grow tray right here, this is a 3 by 3 foot grow tray, and I got this from a local provider, a local store. I always advise you folks, shop local if you can. It's the little people like us that really need it, need the help, and need the support. But that cost me, that was used, and I got that for $45. The white tray was $45. The 1 inch and the 3 1/4 inch tubing I got in rows. So for the pieces that I cut out, this is about 80 cents per piece. This IBC tote down, probably keep saying IBC tote, it's not an IBC tote. This little foot locker, not a foot locker either. This box in the ground. This is a 27-gallon, this is a 27-gallon tote that we got from big box store, and this costs us $17. No, pardon me, $20. So this tote was $20. This tray was $45. About 80 cents per pipe. The pump on the inside was $12. I got the thermometers in bulk, so that's about $1. And I got the 2 different sets of grow pots in bulk, so these are maybe about 35 cents a piece. And there you go. The only reason that this tote that we have in the ground, our reservoir, is so large is because I encourage you again, please go back on our older videos and you can see how we actually had another grow bed set up right here. So this reservoir actually feeds 2 grow beds. I also advise, I don't even want to say I also advise, but I encourage you, whichever way you choose to garden, get out there and know your garden. I mean, can you just feel this energy? Look at the pigs down there. You can see Kevin in the fence. Just feel the energy of the garden, and that's just, it's multiplied by the energy from you. You in the garden share this energy. You in the garden share this love. I'm pretty sure that this entire rig right here that I just described you costs less than $100. So, and I know that might be steep for some folks, But another thing I want to really emphasize, I didn't do any of this at once. If you can go and check us on Facebook, you can go and check us on YouTube, but we haven't even uploaded all of our old videos on YouTube yet. We've been doing this for years and years and years. And all I want to do is save you about some time by helping you see that you don't have to do a bunch of mistakes that we've made in the past. And hopefully we'll also share you some money saving tips. In the meanwhile, that's what gardening is all about. At least to us, it's not just growing plants, it's growing together. Before I let you go, I almost left out the timer. I'm not even sure how much this timer costs. This is a real old school one, but I tell you, it's reliable as all heck. So check your local retailers, especially if they're mom and pop shops. Check them out, your Aquaponics and your hydroponic stores. If not, go to your box stores. You can find one of these real cheap. The one thing I want you to promise me, and please promise me this, whatever you do, the one thing I don't want you to say is that you can't do it. Don't say you can't do it, because yes, you can. You already know that if you have $100 or less than $100, you can have this entire rig that I'm showing you right here. You can have this. You can experience sustainable gardening. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I'll be back with another one in a couple of days. Take care for you and yours. I wish you guys all the best and plant that first seed, and together we'll grow. Peace and blessings, my friends.